Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we are here to count down the 13 best, worst movies that is the greatest B movies ever made. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so the great B movies, the best, worst movies of all time, whatever you want to call it. These are the movies that said you can take your Oscar bait and stuff it down your camera. These movies are unapologetically fun. They tried so hard. They went for it with so much gusto that they are unquestionably an absolute blast to watch, and they just stumbled in to greatness, even if they came to it in a kind of not great way. B movies find a place in our hearts, and they stand the test of time when they are done right. I have 13 here that you are gonna love. So let's jump right into it with number 13's Ninja 3 Domination. Now, there was a time in the mid-1980s that ninjas were just about the coolest thing going. Like, every possible character from an American action movie had to kind of throw ninja in there. I had a ninja suit. I was into Shokazuki, and American filmmakers leaned into that and they caught the fever. 1981's Enter the Ninja was a big one, but this sequel right here was a genre hit of the most nonsensical proportions. I mean, they basically said, let's take the historically inaccurate ninjas fighting stuff, and that's not even good enough for this. So let's make it about a sexy aerobics instructor, because, you know, all hot women in the 1980s were aerobics instructors, who gets possessed by the ancient spirit of an evil ninja. And thus it becomes part The Exorcist and part kind of a just slice 'em up, chop socky B action movie that is just absolutely ridiculous, but absolutely fun. I mean, this movie still has a big place in my heart, and it is getting a 4K release soon because these B movies stand the test of time. Ninja 3 Domination, just a perfect example of this genre. It checks in at number 13 on this list. Now, at number 12 on this list is one that actually spawned a sequel because it was that good as a good, bad movie, one of the best B movies ever. I am talking about Sorority Babes and the Slime O-Rama. Yes, that is the name. And outside of Charles Band, there's probably been very few, like, very prolific schlock directors from the 80s that stand up there as much as David D'Accato. Simply put, the guy has made some truly awful and yet awesome movies. I mean, hey, he's the one that did Dr. Alien that you'll find on one of my recent lists. But yes, the Sorority Babes and the Slime O-Rama is one of his earliest. It is also one of the absolute most fun. You've got Linnea Quigley in here. You've got just a litany of your 80s kind of B-movie scream queens. It's sort of like a horror version of Porky's and Animal House, except it revolves around this puppet demon trapped in a bowling trophy that gets released and wreaks havoc. And this thing looks like a sock puppet from hell with those googly eyes that you stick on. And he talks trash and is absolutely fun to watch. It's the kind of a cult film that builds a cult of us crazy horror fans around it. And it, even if you go to Wikipedia and read about this thing, it got someone to write that this provided one of the best spanking scenes in all of mainstream media, and it helped the film become a cult favorite. I mean, it is full of TNA, there is no doubt. Excuses for women to undress all over the place. And yes, there is a spanking scene. Yes, sir, may I have another? Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl O-Rama, absolute B-movie gold. It checks in at number 12 on this list. Now, at number 11 on this list is the one that some people consider the pinnacle of B-movies. It is Ed Wood's masterpiece, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Oh man, Plan 9 forever was like everyone's answer with what is the worst movie of all time. It's Plan 9 from Outer Space. But I'm going to say that it is so good at being bad that it is an absolute B-movie masterpiece classic. I mean, you know, Bela Lugosi is in here as Dracula kind of for part of it, but Bela passed away during the filming of this movie. So you have a sort of a Bela Lugosi impersonator with his cape around his face for the whole rest of the movie to hide the fact that it wasn't Bela Lugosi. It is absolutely crazy. The plot, it's practically pointless. It is nonsensical dialogue. The alien characters in particular are written as like pseudo-intellectuals who just lambaste humans and just insult them and their stupid minds, stupid people, stupid fun. Plan 9 from Outer Space. To this day, it plays at the Sci-Fi Drive-In Diner at Disney's Hollywood Studios as a masterpiece of this genre, an icon of bad B movies. Plan 9 from Outer Space checks in at number 11 on this list. Now at number 10 on this list, we had to have a little action in here, and where better to go than from director Andy Sidaris, who had about a dozen movies like this. But I believe at number 10, Hard Ticket to Hawaii kind of stands at the top of this genre of the bad B movies that are so damn good. Now, there are dozens of his films like Hard Ticket to Hawaii, and there are other impersonators of this, yes. But if we're talking about plots, Andy Sidaris was famous for putting only Playboy bunnies, Playboy and Penthouse playmates in his movies. So you have busty secret agents, largely tropical locations, girls with bursting boobs and giant guns, half nude to fully nude most of the time, and absolute bat bleep crazy plots out here. A perfect mixture of classless sexuality, hyper, macho, badass 1980s stuff. Its action sequences are insane. There's an inflatable sex doll, clutching skateboard assassin. Yes, you heard that correct. There are henchmen named Shades. The movie has it all for a bad but absolutely badass B movie. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I mean, did I even mention the plot where there's like a side plot, right? Where the girls are hunting a deadly escaped snake that has somehow been infected with toxins from cancer-infested rats. That's just the subplot. Yes, all of that wrapped together with the bursting bosoms and the big guns make this one of the most enjoyable B movies you are ever going to see. Hard Ticket to Hawaii checks in at number 10. Now at number 9, you know we had to have something that Roger Corman was behind. I could probably make a whole list of just that. But at number 9 is one of my favorites, Death Race 2000. Definitely one of the best premises for a Roger Corman movie. Death Race is kind of a video game, race car, murder, death, kill extravaganza. The story is in a dystopian future where all entertainment has been made into a huge cross-country race with psychotic drivers, with crazy, tricked out, and iconic vehicles. They've got weapons on these. They're carrying weapons. And a lot of these cars have been used in remakes and spin-offs. And the idea, like with the Hunger Games, it's been done. David Carradine is the main character in this, and he is Frankenstein, and he is the past winner of the race and a secret resistance fighter to the totalitarian government. You're also going to check in with a young Sylvester Stallone before Rocky, with a stereotypical Italian mobster guy. He's Machine Gun Joe, and it is badass as it sounds. You even had Corman making a misstep here, not putting him on the poster because he didn't think he was going to be a star. Hey, everything can't come out exactly right, not even for Roger Corman. The movie is crazy. People get points for how they kill people while they're driving. Insane, but an insane amount of fun. Death Race 2000 checks in at number 9. Now, at number 8 on the list, we're going back to another Roger Corman. I told you I could make this whole list of Roger Corman movies. This is a Roger Corman produced film, and it is one of my favorites. It just got an outstanding 4K release because we love these movies so much. I am talking about Humanoids from the Deep. Wow, this is from 1980. And in a Pacific Northwest town of Noyo, I think that's how you say it, the townspeople support the local cannery. It's like a salmon fishing cannery, and it's this seaside town vibe. But the fishermen are worried that the cannery is going to destroy their livelihood. All this other subplots that are trying to get super deep in here, socioeconomic things. But really what this is about is the humanoid sea creatures that come out of the water and start killing the men and having their way with the women. And it is shown in a very over-the-top and sexually distasteful manner, I'm going to just say. And it is up to the town folks and a visiting biologist to stop them. This movie rips off so many things, including the original Alien. There's a scene that is ripped right from there. That's part of what give B movies their greatness, is their ability to, let's not say rip off, let's say pay homage to some actually great films, recognized critically great films, and take them and make them their own and say, take that. You spent $50 million, we spent $5 and a box of rubber bands and some super glue. But the costumes in this, the creatures are surprisingly good, over the top. But you know it is a B movie great when the director refuses to finish it, doesn't want their name on it because of the absurd levels of over the top monsters, nudity, and all of that. That's just what makes it great. Humanoids from the Deep comes in at number 8. Now, at number 7 on the list is one of my favorite in the genre that leans into what's called blaxploitation, maybe, but we're jumping to 1972 for the rubber bats on strings and all of Blacula. Man, an 18th century African prince is transformed into a vampire by Count Dracula himself and kind of cursed with having the name Blacula, and he's entombed in Dracula's castle after he fails to convince Dracula to help support his cause years ago. And then a couple hundred years later, a pair of guys who are interior decorators, basically, transport his coffin to LA, where he awakens with an unquenchable thirst for human blood. As Blacula pursues, pursues a woman who resembles his long dead wife, very borrowed from Dracula here. Her brother-in-law, who is a pathologist, investigates the string of carnage that he's leaving behind. And I'm just going to tell you in this, William Marshall does a great job. He's so earnest. It's almost a try-hard film, but it comes out to being so good that it was in the top 10 at the box office that year. And when I say that is shocking for a movie that has rubber bats where you can literally see the strings, you can. That's what makes it part of ours as B movies, are movies that are so bad they're good. I don't even believe in that, because B movies are great in their own right. Blacula is right there with each and every one of them. You should definitely check it out. It checks in at number 7 on our list. Now, number 6 on our list is a tie of 2 films that are the same film, and I am talking about 1958 and 1988's The Blob. Now, the first one stars Stephen McQueen. The second one he's 27, by the way, playing a high schooler. That adds to the B-movie goodness. The second one stars Shawnee Smith and Kevin Dillon. Johnny Drama. I love it. Both of these are great. 88 is my favorite, but they are both B-movie classics. They are perfect examples of B-movies from their own time, whether it's 1950s or the 1980s. The Blob was one of the quintessential, like, teenage drive-in classic horror movies, and both are kind of a warning of let sleeping dogs lie. Maybe don't go and poke things that are strange that fell out of the sky with a stick, because you don't know when you might let out a evil, gelatinous blob entity that is going to eat, consume, digest, grow, and overtake everything in its path in your small town. And I love it. The 1988 version was reimagined with like more gross out and sleazy horror flick vibes, and that makes it just even better. Some of the best visual effects of all time compared to the 1958 version, which they basically just had to turn the camera upside down and let gravity do its work on this blob of dyed silicone mass. But all of that just kind of adds to what makes these movies great. Which one you like is a matter of your own taste. I always side with 88 because of the practical effects. The movie theater scene alone, I'm a sucker for, because the Blob likes to go to the movies just like the rest of us. Instead of eating popcorn, though, he likes to chow down on the people in the audience, and I love to watch it. So The Blob from 1958 and 1988 together, coming in at number 6 on this list. Now, at number 5 on the list is one that a lot of people don't think of when they think about B movies. I definitely do as an independent filmmaker. The indie spirit is part of what makes the B movies so great, because a lot of times they're very low budget. The people are having to use all kinds of inspiration, tricks, and heart to get it done. Nowhere is that more apparent than in The Evil Dead. Now, this is Sam Raimi's 1981 kind of B-movie grindhouse horror classic starring Bruce Campbell, where 5 college students, it's a very typical plot, decide to take a little peaceful vacation at a remote cabin, and they happen to find a book and an audio tape. We're going to get some Lovecraft, Necronomicon vibes here, and they happen to screw up, and this evil that they let go, a powerful incantation, lets it out when it's read aloud, because of course they have to read it aloud. It's a horror movie. The friends find themselves in sort of a hopeless way to stop this evil that they've set loose, and with one lone survivor, Ash versus the Evil Dead, he's got to try to survive till morning. Gross out horror effects in this thing. They use like corn syrup and food dye, and they're out in the woods, so this attracted lots of bugs. It made filming very rough. They had no money. They were attaching cameras to sticks that 2 people held between them and did run at you effects, which I myself have been inspired to use. Lots of stuff that just comes in from B-movie creativity, and this has spawned so many sequels, TV shows. That shows how much it is beloved. The Evil Dead franchise is absolutely B-movie goodness, wrapped up into years of sequels being made, because we all love just how good it is at being bad. Evil Dead checks in on this list at number 5. I'll swallow your soul. Now, at number 4 on the list is one of my personal favorites. I might have a little tip of the cap to you here. I am talking about Return of the Living Dead coming in at number 4. And it occurs to me as I'm doing this list, a lot of these kind of have some 80s flavor to them. But that stands to reason. The 80s were a banner decade for movies in general, iconic films that stand the test of time, but also their B-movie, schlock, fun, great time, bad, good movies, counterparts. It was filled with those as well. Return of the Dead toes that line somewhere in there with O'Bannon behind the wheel of this, and the great Tarman, one of the coolest zombies of all time. You have kind of a caricature, I want to say, of Night of the Living Dead here. In the group of punk kids, this whole thing is like a caricature, which fits right into B-movie goodness. You have kids with names like Spider, Trash, Scuzz. You have Linnea Quigley taking her top and her bottom off and dancing around. And then you have the zombies themselves that kind of subvert Romero's formula of the zombie by being highly intelligent. You know, they're using CBs, they're saying send more paramedics, they're figuring things out. You have a great display of practical effects, particularly with Tarman, one of the greatest to ever. I keep pointing at my hat. It's the trioxin that gives us the Tarman, and it's kind of a biology experiment come to life. The trope that the zombies eating brains, that was kind of established in Return of the Living Dead, and it has persisted in the public consciousness, the zeitgeist, ever since. It started here. That is a B movie leaving its mark. I absolutely love Return of the Living Dead, my favorite zombie movie of all time. It takes its rightful place on this list at number 4. Now, at number 3 on the list is another one that is an all-time favorite for me, and it's a Corman production. Again, the original title of number 3 was Killbots, which makes more sense, but I am talking about the great Chopping Mall. Man, it does not get more 80s than this. You cannot deny the Chopping Mall has a great ring to it, particularly for the 80s. And it's another horror movie that really perfectly captures the 80s teen zeitgeist. You could really sum this up by saying, imagine Breakfast Club in a mall crossed with homicidal Johnny Number Fives from Short Circuit. You get Chopping Mall. There's not a lot of chopping that goes on. In fact, the crazed Johnny Number Fives kill with lasers. But that's very pertinent to nowadays where we're worried about AI running amok. It started here in Chopping Mall. But from there, it's just teens versus robots. 86 minutes of balls to the wall craziness that features the greatest head explosion effect this side of Scanners, maybe the best. The trailer proclaims that they broke into the mall for the wildest of all the nights of their lives. Well, yeah, but what they got instead was electrocutions and crazy killbots trying to track them down and hunt them for sport because of bad lightning and electrical surges. That's what you get in Chopping Mall, wrapped up in all of the 80s mall vibes and goodness. It has to be on the list. It comes in at number 3. Now, at number 2 on the list, I'm just going to say right now, if you don't find your favorite on this list, don't worry, because there's so many of these and I love them so much. This is just volume 1. We will get to more. I wanted to come out swinging, and if you're going to come out swinging with B-movie greatness, the so bad it's good, the best worst movies, whatever you want to call them, you absolutely must have Killer Klowns from Outer Space on your list. Oh man, this is kind of close to the pinnacle of everything a B movie badass film should be. This is probably one that you know by name or reputation if you haven't seen it. I mean, it is an insanely crazy sci-fi horror comedy flick where aliens just so happen to look like clowns. They land their ship on Earth and they want to turn people into cotton candy and eat them. That is the plot of Killer Klowns from Outer Space. You're going to get great one-liners like, "What are you going to do? Knock my block off?" And yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. You're going to get giant shadows somehow eating people. And you're going to get people turned into big cotton candy cocoons, pies in the face, all that kind of stuff to get saved for later with eating. You're going to get, this is like if you gave some like crazed director an idea, a horror director, and said, we're going to make a circus movie and we're going to make it just like PG-13. Think up the craziest looking clowns that you can and the craziest stuff that they can do. And you come up with Killer Klowns. And I absolutely love it. It is the pinnacle, the bright colors, the fun, the 80s of it all. Killer Klowns from Outer Space is one that everybody can have a blast with. And it has earned its spot near the top, if not the top, of one of the best bad movies, the greatest B movies ever made. Killer Klowns from Outer Space checks in at number 2. And before we get to 1 on this list, if you have a chance, if you've made it this far, it's your first time here, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I do lots of lists, rankings, and recommendations like this. I'm a working filmmaker and I love talking movies. I do all kinds of things here, physical media news, 4K reviews, all of that kind of stuff. And these lists are my passion, sharing movies with you. It is time to share number 1. And the best B movie of all time is The Beastmaster. Now, if you are an 80s kid, I'm just going to tell you right now, this movie was probably on 24/7 if you had TBS, TNT. As a matter of fact, I'm writing an 80s pop culture book. The title of it is Hey Bubba, The Beastmaster is on. Actually, the shortened version is The Beastmaster is on, because growing up, my dad would call me in constantly to let me know The Beastmaster was on yet again. And in this movie, you have Don Coscarelli with a crazy concept of a sword and sandal movie where Dar, who is the son of a king, his family is killed, and a priest played by Rip Torn, who is absolutely crazy, has been hunting him since birth. He does all these ritualistic sacrifices. This thing is part like sword and sandal, part like Aztec sacrifice on a pyramid. But guess what? The Beastmaster can talk to animals. They can help him on his quest to seek revenge and stop the crazy, I mean, Rip Torn in it. I'm gonna be honest. The priest in here as a kid scared me, the way he threw people in the fire to have them be sacrificed. But you have these other eagle human hybrid people that just come out of nowhere for an inexplicable reason, and they basically consume people and leave nothing but the bones behind. It was absolutely terrifying. They make no sense in the story, but that's what makes a good B movie. This is also one of those B movies that was PG at the time, but showed topless and bottomless women. Yes, it sure did get away with that. You have, I believe, tigers dyed black as panthers with Miss Clairol hair dye. It has all the ingredients of a crazy B movie, one of the best of all time. Sword and sandal, loincloths, sacrifices, crazy animals, crazy monsters, distorted human beings wearing gimp masks for some reason. I don't know. It's all here. Ask Don Coscarelli. It all shook up in a blender and came out to the best B movie of all time. The Beastmaster is on. It is on in my house a lot. Make sure you watch it. It is the best that there is to offer in this genre. And that is my list. We love these B movies. I have a lot more to come for you. This is 13 of the best ever and ones that I love, and I believe you'll enjoy them too. So you can all keep your highbrow Citizen Kane, I don't know. You can keep it. I can't think of anything else because you guys are going to get mad if I put too many things down to lift these up. But in the end, it's all about fun when you are being entertained, and you are going to be hard pressed to find more entertaining movies than the 13 on this list. And that's what I got for you this time. Please like and subscribe if you want to support what we do here. Join the channel at my YouTube link, or I would say my Patreon, because just like these B movies, I can be completely crazy, uncensored, and unfiltered on Patreon. But no matter what, you're going to get your name in lights like a great B movie star on every single one of my videos. And y'all, I really do appreciate it. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.